Good morning, Endo fans. This is Mike Lewis in Teaneck, New Jersey. Just wanted to go over a nice case that was presented to me this morning. Patient was referred by her general dentist. General dentist had initiated root canal therapy on tooth number 30. They had run into some trouble in that they couldn't negotiate past a calcified mesial buccal canal, and quite appropriately, the general dentist, recognizing the incompleteness of the work, referred the case over to our special endodontic specialty office for completion of treatment. Um, so let's go through the case. We'll go through a CT scan over here. Just going to go through the volumes. And first thing we notice when we look at this case is that the distal canal has an ovoid shaped configuration, and the distal lingual aspect has really not been cleaned out properly. You can see here the distal buccal has that circular orifice indicating the case was instrumented, but the distal lingual really has not been. The second thing that jumped out at me when you're looking at this axial view is the ribbon-shaped configuration of the mesial root. And I can see here an isthmus connecting the mesial buccal and the mesial lingual. That type of configuration is strongly suggestive of a middle mesial canal. So let's go through the case internally when we're looking at the photos. This is the picture of the tooth as it was opened up. And again, we can see the distal lingual aspect of the distal canal is really not properly opened up. And here we can see the distal buccal orifice is occluded with secondary dentin. Difficult to get in there. And our job is to go in there and clean this case out properly. So taking a look at the next image in those serial photos that was taken here, you can see the distal lingual canal is fully opened up and debrided. Mesial lingual is opened up and debrided. Mesial buccal, we got it way down and cleaned it up. And here we can see some calcification on the in that midline between the mesial buccal and mesial lingual. Here we can see the middle mesial opened up, and we can see our file going down into that middle mesial canal. And this is what the tooth looks like when it's fully opened up and debrided. Just to compare that briefly to what the tooth looked like originally, here you can see what was sent over to us. And the presumption is that if the general dentist had located that mesial buccal canal, they would have finished the case. And that would really have been a very bad thing for the patient. The patient would have had maybe some temporary relief, just like you would have temporary relief with pulpotomy. But over the long term, if there's organic material that was left behind inside the tooth, that would act as a substrate for bacteria that would persist and thrive within the root canal system, and eventually you would get apical periodontitis, and the patient would come to the conclusion that root canals don't work. Root canals do work, but they have to be executed meticulously. Root canal is not easy to do. I'm a firm believer that molars should be treated by endodontists whenever possible. If you have a nearby endodontist, recognize that the standard of care is quite a bit different than maybe what you're accustomed to, and that these cases can and should be referred to endodontists. In particular, upper first molars have much more complex anatomy than all the other teeth, and I would suggest you consider referring those cases out. Anyway, just going through the two post-op images here, we can see the middle mesial canal anatomy, the two distal canals. Again, very complex case, but not all that unusual. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you took something from it. Hope you'll consider using the services of your local endodontic specialist more frequently than you might have otherwise. Take care.